Hello, everybody. I don't even know if anyone's going to be on this time of night. It's currently like 12:38 here, just after midnight. I don't even know if anyone's going to be on, which is a bit crazy. But anyway, what I wanted to do is come on tonight. I can't sleep right now, so I thought, I've been meaning to do a live for quite some time, so I've got everything set up here. And I thought I would come on and share a few experiences with you guys, because I think although I have talked about some of my experiences here and there in other videos, I haven't really made one video with all of my experiences in one place. So I thought that's what I would do tonight. Also, if any of you would like to share some of your experiences in the chat, I can read those out for you if you would like me to do that. And it'll give you a bit of a shout out and allow everybody to hear your stories. Just before I begin, just to see whether anyone's going to be coming in, I do want to say that I have had quite a lot going on. I've been trying to make some content for you guys. I am finding it a little bit difficult. I'm going through a divorce and separation at the moment, and so I've been sorting those things out and had a little bit of trouble doing so. As you can imagine, with anybody, there is going to be some difficulty in separating things, as well as my kids are now on Easter holidays. This is their first week off school, and then they will be off school again next week. So they have 2 weeks toward the end of April, and then we usually have 2 weeks in July, I believe it is, another 2 weeks early October, and then we have about 6 weeks in December over the Christmas period. So that's how the holidays work here in Australia. Yeah, so anyway, I do have Clara here with me. She's just sort of resting on the armchair rest here. So she's pretty lodged in there. She hasn't moved all night that I have seen. And I've been out here for quite some time keeping an eye on her. So if you guys see anything, let me know. As long as it's not me bumping her or anything else. So, where to begin? The first time. Hi, Vegas Ghost Girls. How are you? Good morning. Here in Australia, it's just after midnight. It's 12:41 a.m., but I am unable to sleep right now. So I know there's a little bit of a delay, but I was just going to get into just telling everybody a little bit about my paranormal history, my experiences, and things like that. So, yeah. Also, too, if any of you would like to share any of your experiences or stories or anything like that, you can put them down in the chat, and I can share them as well, even though I usually give everybody a bit of a shout out when they come in anyway. So I'll get stuck into mine first of all. So the first time I remember seeing, some people call them ghosts, I call them spirit. I think I was really young, so I would say between 5 and 7. We lived in this little house in the middle of nowhere, and it was an old sort of fibro kind of house, and we had a railway track right next door to it. And I do remember a little girl, the ghost of a little girl in that house, and I used to play with her. I also had some experiences where, and I don't know whether this involved her or not, but my father said that I used to sleepwalk, and I'd get up and walk around the coffee table, and I would count as I was going around in circles around the coffee table, and then I'd go back to bed. And now that I'm older, and since we moved out of that house, I've never sleptwalked since. So that's quite weird. I also used to, in my sleep, tap the wall and count how many times I tapped the wall. It almost sounds like an OCD thing. It's like really strange. But yeah, so I used to sort of play with her and things like that. And I think back then, I didn't think anything different. I don't know if I understood whether she was a ghost or not. Um, I do remember at night time and things seeing darker shadows in my rooms, in my room. And I think that for me back then, being a small child, it was really quite scary. I think because I couldn't see them and they were dark, I didn't understand what they were, and I think that's what made it scary for me. Then when I started to open up to my older sisters and my mother, they started scaring me by telling me these stories about devils and demons, and telling me if I didn't behave, they would come and get me and all these kinds of things. And I think they thought I was telling stories when in fact I wasn't. And so after that time, although I would see things from the corner of my eye, I didn't really see a lot after that. And I think in a way I just sort of closed it off because it frightened me so much. And so I didn't have a lot of experiences after that until I was in my early 20s. And at that time, I'd just gone through a separation of what I call my first love, and we had a daughter together. So in a matter of a couple of years, I had that very traumatic separation. I had my grandmother die, and she was very, very dear to me. And I had a few other things going on. And it was around that time I was staying at my mother's house one night, and I got up during the middle of the night to go and get a glass of water, and her kitchen sink had a window above it, and her window looked out into the neighbour's backyard. And I was standing there having my glass of water, and I saw a figure of a young child standing in the backyard of the neighbour's, in the neighbour's yard. And it's sort of like, you know, in the middle of the night, and I'm looking like this, and, you know, sort of trying to focus my eyes. And they didn't have any children. It was a young couple. They had a dog, but there's no way this figure was a dog. It was a young child, and it was a girl with long, dark hair. And she had a dark blue apron style dress with a square neck and a white collared shirt with long white sleeves. And that frightened the absolute heck out of me. Wildy's Paranormal Plays, hello and welcome, hon. I've been meaning to catch up with you. I've been watching some of your videos and I absolutely love them. You got to keep going with them. I haven't seen one from you for a little while. Thank you so much for coming in, though. I'm talking to the chat instead of the camera. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm just sharing a few of my experiences that I've had. But that one over the kitchen sink, that really, really scared me, because she was just standing there staring at me, and it was this young child. I took off back to bed and I hid under the blankets. It just scared me so, so much. So, yeah. Oh, I'll definitely go and check that out, Wildies. Thank you so much for coming in too. I do appreciate that. It's just after midnight here, but I can't sleep, so I'm telling ghost stories. Oh. After that, I've seen spirit ever since then. It's something that I think is just normal for me now, and it doesn't scare me anymore. I'm still developing what gifts I have. I don't really have anyone to teach me, which is quite difficult when you're trying to work out what's going on with you. Usually, when somebody tries to, if there's anyone that has classes available or whatnot, over here in Australia, it's about, it'd cost you over $1,000 for half a dozen classes. It's really expensive. Hey, Terry and Al, thank you so much for dropping in. How are you doing this evening? Or probably morning where you are. I know it's morning for some of you. Oh, very good. It's almost 5 in the afternoon, so almost dinner time. Oh, okay, not a problem. And you're in the either the UK or Ireland, aren't you, Waldy? You're over in the European continent somewhere. I can tell from your accent. If I have that right, that's the one thing with YouTube. I think I have just over 430 subscribers here with me now. But the amount of people I support, I have well over 500 people that I support here on YouTube. And so quite often, even if I don't comment, I do come in and watch your videos. Sometimes I'll be about to take off out the door and somebody's just uploaded a video, and I'll like it straight away and put it on play and let it play while I go out somewhere. So even if you guys don't see me, even if you don't see me hanging around, or if I don't write a comment, I am always around and I'm watching videos and things like that too. So, from Holland. Okay, sorry, I did get that wrong. Yeah, it was pretty scary for me at that age. I think because everything was so fresh to me back then, it really did scare me for a long time. And it took me a really long time to be able to see a spirit and not freak out. Because for a lot of times, I'd go out and do my cemetery walks when I first started doing videos, and my heart would beat quite fast, just walking around, because I was waiting to see something. I knew it would happen. Whereas now I'm not like that. Not unless I feel something that's ringing my warning bells. There are a couple of nighttime videos that I had the opportunity to make when I had a babysitter, and there's one that I did at, I believe it was the Hall Cemetery, and I contacted the ghost of a little boy out there, and there was a olden day lady who used to walk around with the boy, and I think she was there to protect and watch over him. And her name was Sarah, I believe. But she was very, very harsh and very scary. Let's just put it that way. She was not so nice, because she would try and get you to leave so that I guess you wouldn't try and do anything bad. They have had people out there that have broken up headstones and stolen plaques off graves and things, which I don't know how people can do. It's terrible, desecrating graves and things like that. I'd never dream of doing it. Okay, so Vegas Ghost Girls says, I had a friend when I was little that now I think was a spirit, because he wore the same old-time overalls and was barefoot all the time. That is really interesting to hear, because I had the same thing too. That was the first story that I told. And isn't it amazing how many people have those sorts of experiences when they're little? and you don't know the difference when you're little, because they can look so real to you then. It would just show up. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, you don't see parents dropping them off or that. They're just there. And then they have a play with you, and then they're just gone. Hmm. Yeah, it is, Terry and Al. It is so disrespectful. I quite often, I'll go out at Christmas time or something and leave little bells on a few of the graves, and I'll leave flowers when I have the opportunity to. But um, a lot of the caretakers for the cemeteries and things here, they won't allow you to leave things like that. So they'll only leave them on there for a couple of days and then throw them out, which is a shame. Um, but they do take quite good care of the cemeteries here, and they do close them at night time now. There's only two, I believe, that you can get into at night time, and the rest of them have security in that, just because people quite often vandalise them otherwise. I do the same thing, Vegas Ghost Girls. I'll walk around, and you see it in some of my videos too. I'll pick up flowers when they've fallen over or blown off graves, and clean up glass if, you know, something is broken, and you know, get the leaves and things off them and pull weeds if you have to. I am in absolute awe at the cemeteries that you guys have over in the US, the UK, even you know, even over in Holland, you know, where Waldy is. You guys have some really old cemeteries, and they have beautiful headstones, and some of them are in the middle of nowhere. And so they haven't really been touched so much as the ones have, like in the city and things like that. They have this, I don't know, I have a real thing for old historic places. It's almost like it takes you back in time to a period, you know what I mean. Terry and Al says, Al tries to reset stones that have been knocked over. That's very, very kind of you, Al. It really is. You know, it's I get so upset sometimes when you go around and you see some of these crosses and things that have been knocked over and they break in half. It's such a shame. And there's no one there to repair them. Well, at here anyway. Vegas Ghost Girls, where my mummy's buried. It's so clean and beautiful. Hi, Dark Paranormal. How are you going? That's one thing that I do give the cemeteries here. I'm in Canberra, which is the Australian Capital Territory in Australia, and they do take really good care of the cemeteries here. You know, apart from a few headstones that are broken, the lawn is always mowed. They're usually weeded, and they throw the old flowers, the dead flowers, out quite quickly to keep them clean and whatnot. So Waldy says in Holland they also have a lot of vandalised graves, but most of the cemeteries are closed at night and surrounded by high fences. Yeah, they do the same thing here too, Waldy. The really big cemetery we have here in Woden, which are in some of my videos, and what's the other one? The ones over in Belconnen and whatnot, they actually have gates that are locked at night, and they have quite high fences, and security patrols them day and night. So Vegas Ghost Girl says, my sister has a cemetery from the 1700s veterans across the street from her home. Wow. Her hoist was built in 1840. That is amazing. I think that because Australia wasn't um, discovered and civilized, you know, the first people on the first fleets arrived in, I think it was the early to mid 1800s. So a lot of the graves that we have here, I think the oldest grave in Australia was around 1830, 1840, and that's in one of the cemeteries in Sydney. A lot of the cemeteries that we have here, um, they'll be like from 1870s, 1880s, and earlier. So that's quite old, like 1700s. Terrian Owl says our cemeteries are old and very neglected here. That's terrible. Whereabouts are you guys from, Terry and Al? I have watched your videos, and I know you have. Yeah, I watched your video not that long ago. I should know where you're from. I'm sorry about that. Oh, her house was built in 1840. Vegas Ghost Girls. No, that's all right. Very young for a county, for a country. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I thought you were in the USA. West Virginia. Virginia gets a lot of snow too, doesn't it? Because I'm sure your video, one of your videos that I watched, you had snow. Can't type today. Don't worry about that, Vegas Ghost Girls. I'm the same. Every time I get into somebody's chat, I'm so excited to be typing a message to everybody that I make all these mistakes. It's quite normal. I think one of the more recent spirit experiences that I've had, apart from in my own home, um, the last couple of times that I've been to the Riverside Cemetery, and I do a lot of videos there because it's one of my favorites. Um, I have what I like to call a shadow man that follows me around, and I don't think he means any harm because he hasn't done anything or said anything harmful, but he makes me feel nervous. And he'll just follow me from behind through the cemetery. And I don't know whether he's curious by my equipment or what I'm doing, or whether he's protecting me or whatnot. But he'll follow me through the cemetery. And there's also a lady there who appears every now and again. And if you can imagine, I would say back in the early 1800s, the women used to wear the long sleeve blouses with the collar and the buttons all the way up, and then they'd have the A-line skirts that went right to the ankles, and quite often wore their hair up in a bun. And she's dressed like that, and her top is sort of like a maroon colour and a navy blue skirt. And I would say that she's probably late 30s, early 40s. Wildy says, I have videos with graves from the 1700s. That's one of my favourite things. I really like the really old graves, and looking at them and seeing how they changed. Because I know at one point in time, I don't think they used to mark headstones, did they? Or at least in some cultures. Like I know there were some cultures that you just used to, they'd put stones over the grave, wouldn't they? Yeah, you like the old ones too. They're gorgeous, aren't they? I always had my reservations about the spirit box, and I think one of the when I first got my spirit box, I bought it to experiment with it and see whether I felt I was getting any messages through it, or whether it was just a lot of words coming from radio. And I think to some extent still, some of the messages that I get now are still radio. I mean, you pick up prime ministers' names and things like that coming through. But more often than not in the last couple of months, I've had a few messages come through the spirit box that only someone close to me could have known. And I know that for a fact I'm getting messages from loved ones. So what do you guys think about the spirit box? Dark paranormal. I'm going to pee on my ex's grave when she dies, then I'll be happy. Oh, dark. uh, Vegas Ghost Girl says, in July, I'm going to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I hope you're going to record that, Vegas Ghost Girls, because Gettysburg, I've heard, like, I've seen so many videos and there's so much activity there. Like, you're bound to get something. I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. You've got to record it and take plenty of batteries, because your batteries will get drained, guaranteed. Terry and Al says, may in our 1700 cemetery are just field stones standing up. Very little left of them now. Actually, I've been, I do like to research different cultures and different, what do you call it? History, religions, things like that. And I've just been looking at the Vikings and things like that, and looked up their headstones. And if you've never seen a Viking headstone, or headstone from, that era from their people, go and look it up, because they're really interesting. It's just like a stone, and it has rune symbols all over them, and that's how they did their messages. They're absolutely amazing to see. No place in Holland where I can get one. Yeah, well, I actually had to buy my spirit box online, because there's nowhere near me that sold them either. I actually had to buy it online. I have heard that you can get them on, it's not eBay, it's the other one. I can't think of its name. You can get them quite cheap. Hell yeah. So Vegas Ghost Girls, when you go to Gettysburg, are you going to do day and night, or just one or the other, like the videos of Gettysburg? Amazon, that is it. Yes, yes. You can get them cheaper on Amazon. So I have heard anyway. I paid more for mine from, an actual spirit like place. And I heard that Amazon sells them cheaper. So both. Yeah, that'll be amazing to see. I can't wait for that. Or eBay. Yeah, I guess that, like, eBay is still pretty good prices for stuff like that. eBay has really cheap EMF detectors too. I'm going to get one from there as soon as I can. So that'll be really cool. I do like the spirit box. I do like using it. It's just frustrating because after you've had it on for a while, you do get sore ears from the noise from it. You know, if you have quite a bit of money, you could go and buy yourself a Vox box or something like that, but they are quite expensive. Vegas Ghost Girl says, I'm going to New York for my sister's wedding, and me and my other sister are going to Gettysburg just to investigate. That's going to be absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see that, Vegas Ghost Girls. That's going to be so good. I go for the PS11. I haven't actually had the opportunity to use a PS11. I've heard mixed messages, like some people say it's really good and some people say it's not. The good thing about the PS11 is that you can turn the aerial off, so I've heard, and that should cut down or cut out the radio interference. That's just what I've heard anyway. It's cheaper. I do actually have a couple of pendulums. I'm going to have to pull them out next time I do a live stream with the spirit box outside. I will pull the pendulum out. Ouija board, I will not touch. That's just me. That's just my preferences. Maybe in the future when my children have grown up and left home. But right now I won't use one. Wow. See, 120 US. Over here, that would be, what, 140, 150, something like that. So that's actually quite cheap. I know that for me, I bought my spirit box, my PSP7, from a ghost shop down here in Sydney, Australia. And by the time I paid for the box and the postage, it cost me about 110 Australian. So that's probably a little more than what you paid for your full setup, Terry and Al. So I think I got ripped off. Everything in Australia is expensive, though. Got a lot of equipment from Wish, and they are very reasonably priced. I didn't know that Wish sold stuff like that as well, Vegas Ghost Girls. Hi, your friendly otaku. Thank you so much for dropping a like on the video. I haven't even asked anybody for likes tonight, but I do thank anybody who has liked the video. I appreciate it. I haven't had a lot of experiences with my doll as yet. I have had a few weird little things come through the spirit box when I've been doing an investigation. Thank you so much, Wildy. And I agree, Dark Paranormal. I won't use it either. So, yeah. If somebody sent me anything haunted, I'd take it, but just not a. Well, I'd probably take a Ouija board, but I wouldn't use it. But yeah, my dolly. I've had a few things from her. The most interesting thing that I got from her, and I'll see if I can cut out. I did a private session with one of my subscribers. She wanted to have a bit of a chat about some things that were going on. and I'm quite in tune with dreams and stuff like that. So I was giving her some guidance, and I had this camera on the PC going in my lounge room, and I had my doll sitting right next to the computer, and then I had my phone outside so that I could put the spirit box on. And all of these were recording. I did a private session on YouTube. And while I was speaking to them, I had shadow figures, or one shadow figure in the lounge room on the back wall, like behind the screen. So I'm going to have to sort of cut that bit of the video out and maybe just take the audio out so that you guys can see the shadow figure. If somebody sent me a demonic doll, I think I'd know pretty quickly. Well, I would hope I would know pretty quickly that it was demonic. I would probably send it to Zach Bagans and let him deal with it. Yeah, definitely. I had some like weird little things happen before Clara arrived. Like, I think I put it in one of my videos actually. I was watching the tracking ID for when she was going to arrive, and she came from America, Clara did. And when she got into Australia, she was waiting at Sydney to be shipped down here to Canberra. And I had this little app on my phone going, and the word Sydney came on the app. So, not a problem, Dark Paranormal. Go have a smoko break. Actually, that's probably an Australian thing to say, smoko. That's what they call it here. Carrion Owl says, I've seen zombie dolls I'd like to get. Yeah, I've actually seen a lot of those as well. Excuse me. They're being sold on eBay, and a lot of people are trying to say they're a haunted doll just because they look like a zombie baby. And they're selling them for a ridiculous amount of money. I've looked at some haunted stuff online because I was interested in getting a couple of things eventually and testing them so that people can see. And a lot of people do this, see whether they're fake or real. And a lot of people will make Dybbuk boxes and things like that of their own, and you can tell they're handmade. And they'll sell them for like $500. And then they'll get dolls like this, or, you know, a modern day doll. They'll chop its hair off, put pentagrams on its, you know, forehead, and rip its clothes and things, and then sell it for like $1,000 and say it's haunted. It's just so crazy. Oh, really, Vegas Ghost Girls? I'd actually be the same as you, I think. I'm very, very much in tune with things like that. Did you actually get, when you went to Zach Bagan's museum, did you go down and see the stairs of, what do they call it? The what house? I got crooked watching the documentary on that. You know, the house that Zach Bagans had, and he almost lost his eyesight, and he knocked it down and kept the stairs in the dirt. The demon house. Yeah, that's exactly right, Terry and Al. The lady that I bought Clara off, I actually not a problem, Wildy. The lady that I bought Clara off, she had only sold a couple of dolls, and a couple of them were hers that she'd got from estate sales, and she was an empathic medium as well. And sometimes she would get dolls from other people that wanted to get rid of them because of experiences they were having. And that's the only time she sold those dolls, and she only had a couple. Um, so I was still skeptical, but yeah, I'm still on the fence with her. Couldn't go to the demon house. It was so strong and it smelt like death. That's what I'm thinking, Vegas Ghost Girls. If I ever went there, I don't know that I could actually go down there. That's the only one thing in that museum that sort of concerns me, I guess you can say. It's the stairs and the dirt from the demon house. Harry and Al, we just bought a house that's haunted. I feel so sick and dizzy when I go there. Oh, wow. So have you bought that house, Terry, to do investigations there? Or are you going to live in it or rent it out? Sounds like you're quite empathic as well, very sensitive to things. I have heard that from a lot of people too, that when you have a haunted house, especially if there's a portal or something in your house and there's a lot of spirits there, because there's so much energy swirling around in that area, it will make you feel quite sick and dizzy. Because I don't know if you're sensitive to crystals like I am, but sometimes when I buy a new crystal, if it's got a quite a high vibration, you can pick it up and feel it buzzing, and it'll almost make you feel lightheaded, and that's the energy coming off it. We're fixing it up to rent, but have been doing investigations there in the process. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Just document the things that have been happening and that. It'll be interesting to see, though, whether the people that rent it from you have experiences as well. That's something to document too, if you can. Vegas Ghost Girls. It's the last thing on the tour. I look like I just took a shower, but as soon as I got outside, I felt fine. Wow, that is crazy. I don't know how many of you have actually seen his documentary from the Demon House, but that end part where he locks himself into the house alone and, he's sitting back on the bed and you can hear that guttural growl and the stomping that, yeah, I almost had to turn it off. It's just too much. Oh, wow. So this is at your house, Terry. That's actually a really good idea, yeah. If you can, I don't know what you cleanse with. I usually use, well, depending on what you want. I know down here you can buy a um, a resin and you burn it on top of the hot coal discs that you can buy. And there's one that's called a Vatican mix, and it's got like lots of really good stuff on it. I love that documentary too, Vegas Ghost Girls. It was awesome. I loved hearing all the different experiences from different people, and actually seeing them doing things in the house, like the investigation downstairs, and wow, like that shadow figure too that went through the bathroom and it was following them through. Yes, it is at the new house. Yeah. Welcome back, Duck Paranormal. Well, good luck with the new house, Terry and Al. I hope that there really is nothing too bad there, and I hope that when you cleanse it, that whatever it is that is there moves on and doesn't give anyone any grief. I do use a lot of white sage myself as well, Vegas Ghost Girls, and I use Palo Santo. Um, Quite often I'll use sage and then I'll burn Palo Santo afterward, because Palo Santo um, helps also to put some positive energy back into the air. Sage and holy water. I was going to suggest holy water actually, Terry, so that's really good. Ah, yes, the oil dripping from the blinds and like it making the skin go all like white. That was crazy. It actually makes me wonder whether they had whether there was a portal in that house, or whether whoever was there just made some sort of creepy sacrificial thing and, conjured something very bad. Oh, negative spirits. That's what I actually did with Clara when I first got Clara, and I wasn't filming her or anything. I would keep her in my shed, and I would put a salt ring around her. Thank you, Vegas Ghost Girls. I actually hadn't done a live for quite some time because, I just had so much going on. And I meant to do it the last couple of days and I couldn't get the drive to get there. And tonight I was just sitting up and I thought, why not? Why not hop on and just talk to people? It's good for you guys too, because I always encourage you guys to go and check each other out. And this is how, a lot of us meet each other too, is through our streams and our chats and whatnot. And I've met a lot of awesome people here on YouTube, and the paranormal community is so big, but so welcoming and friendly at the same time. Yeah. See, that's the thing that I have. Sometimes it's difficult for me to catch the lives too, because um, for you guys in the US, sometimes I'll be watching some streams from people and, it'll be late at night for them. But over here, it's like in the middle of the day or like afternoon. So a lot of scammers on here. The one thing, networking, that's right. Next week, I go to the cemetery where the daughter, rest in peace, bringing her flowers. Oh, rest in peace, Wildy. I'm so sorry to hear that. May she be at peace. Okay. I know that there's been friction with a couple of people. Like I don't get involved in it all that, but I've seen it like around, and I think that one thing that I have found, and I swore to myself and to everybody else that I wouldn't do, is that I have noticed that um, a lot of people, once they reach the milestone of where they're being monetized, should I say, um, people get left behind and a lot of people get forgotten. And I know that for me, myself, there have been a couple of people that I've put a lot of work into um, supporting and doing a lot of stuff for them. But, you know, sort of when they reach that milestone of theirs that they're trying to reach, it's almost like a lot of the smaller people disappear. Um, and so that's one thing that I refuse to do. Even if I got to the point where I had, you know, 10,000 subscribers, I'd still get on here and I'd still communicate with my people and I'd still try and help those that are struggling or need help. And I would always get on and, you know, leave a comment for as many people as I can get back to. And sometimes I'm a couple of days late getting back to comments on my videos, but I'll always get on and talk to people and do what I can. You know, as I said before, I don't always get the chance to sit down and leave comments on people's videos because I have like over 500 people that I support, but I always get on and I always watch videos and I like and things like that. That's right, Vegas Ghost Girls. Yeah. I mean, we're all here to grow together. Do you know what I mean? We're all here to support each other. And without a lot of the little people as well, um, you know, a lot of the bigger people may not be where they are today. So always remember my supporters. Harry, now I can't see myself giving it up as long as I can get around. Exactly. And that's a lot of the reason why I do it now is just because I thoroughly enjoy it. And, you know, I am a single mum. I have 3 children. And, you know, people struggle in life. I mean, I struggle as well. But me getting out and making videos or being here and talking to you guys is the opportunity to do something that I love and the opportunity to do something for myself, which we all need to do. We all need to have some time to ourselves doing something we love. And Wildy says, I got 2 sons, but the daughter from my teacher was raped and killed when I was at high school. It was a terrible time, and after 15 months they found her. Oh no. They can stand right before her grave. I actually watched that video, Wildy. Wildy has a video where she's just come across this girl's grave, and as she said here, um, her teacher's daughter, she was raped and killed, wasn't found for 15 months. And I don't think they found her killer either, have they, Wildy? Is that right? Well, they've not long found her killer or something. I remember hearing you talking about it in the video. and seeing her grave, the poor little one. Oh, I don't understand how people can do that, how you can take a life. Life is so precious. I understand that, back in the day, once upon a time, like in the days of the Vikings, they went raiding and killing people was a normal thing for them back then, I guess. But to think of it now, it's just, man was a pedophile and the woman brings him girls. Oh my goodness. That is sick. That is very sick. Well, I'm so sorry that that girl lost her life, but I am so happy that her death brought about the capture of these people, because no other daughters, granddaughters, sisters can be taken again by them. Hopefully. Hopefully they stay locked away for a very long time. And grabbed her other daughters. Yeah. I could imagine her death would have shocked many, many people. I hope that poor young girl has, found some sort of peace in the afterlife. I don't know what other people believe, but, I do believe that our souls come here and we are connected to other souls which we meet while we're here, whether they're brothers, sisters, husbands, friends. And I believe we come here with special tasks and special things to learn. And I believe that one of the things that I have been taught in this lifetime was to, I think, love myself more and to let go of toxic people and let go of, I guess you could say, negative emotions, because for a very long time I held on to things that had happened, especially bad things when they'd happened to me. And these days I look at things, and even as hard as it may be, I think that I'm much more accepting and I'm able to let things go, and I feel at peace letting it go. And I think it takes a long time for a person to get to that point. Amen to that, Dark. Amen to that. Seriously. Just brush them off and keep walking. They're not worth it. I think they all come into our lives for a reason, and it's one of them is that they're not welcome there. You don't need them. That's exactly right. Yep. Yeah, you get to that point in your life, Vegas, where you're just like, I've grown up, I'm mature. One of the things, like, I found that growing up, I had a lot of male friends. And the reason that I had a lot of male friends was because I grew up in a small country town, and a lot of the girls there were in what I like to call a clique. And they all used to get together and gossip and spread rumors about people and just be really nasty. Yeah, exactly. Ah, Waldy said the man is free. How can they let a man like that go? I can tell you she's going to be down in hell for a long time, Waldy. But I agree with Vegas too. Um, when you go back, and what you said as well, when you go back to her grave this next time, and when you take her some flowers, definitely ask her some questions. I know that I myself, even though it might be hard for you guys to hear them at times, I can be sitting down and editing some of my videos, and you can hear clear voices in some of them. It doesn't happen very often. But you can get voices. 1 year. Is that 1 year for taking her life, or 1 year for what they did to her, like raping her? Yeah, that's what I thought, Vegas. I've known people in some of the jails here in Australia. Oh, 10 years. Yeah, see, we don't have the death penalty here. In some ways, I wish we did. Um, but I know some people that are in jail until they die here in Australia because of things that they've done. And a lot of those involve taking people's lives. I actually met a gentleman when I was in my teens, and he was in jail for life. He was never going to get out of jail. And the reason that he was in there is because there was a pedophile who was raping little girls, and he was getting away with it. And the system wasn't working, and he wasn't being caught. So when he eventually got caught for one of these, they let him out on a bail or something like that. And so this gentleman that I knew that was in jail, at the time he wasn't in jail, but yeah, he went after this pedophile and he tied him up in a tree and he tortured him and then killed him. Won't go into detail because it's YouTube, but he ended up getting caught and was in there for life because he killed a pedophile. Yeah, I'm going to hide that comment, Dark, but I do agree. They do need to make centipedes with those kind of people. Terry and Al says in West Virginia there are stiffer laws against drug users than murderers. That's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy to think. I mean, yeah, drugs are a problem and they're becoming bad, but murderers are as well. I mean, you think about how many people kill. And especially when you look at first time offenders as well. Like if somebody does something for the first time, and I'm talking about people who murder someone for the first time or, you know, do drug trafficking for the first time, they need to have tougher laws for these kinds of people as well. So other people look at them as an example and go, wow, well, I really don't want to do that. And yeah, murder, I mean, people can't come back from that. Once you've taken somebody's life, they're not going to come back. They're gone forever. And how can you replace a life? It's crazy. That's exactly right, Terry. Now, if you do it once, you're going to do it again. Sorry for using this, but like they say that with like cheaters and that too, and it's not just men, it's women too. Like they say if somebody cheats once, they'll do it again. It's not always true, but most of the time it is. I mean, if you do something once, yeah, I agree. So he was in jail, getting out for the weekend, and that's when he took her life. So are you saying that he was already in jail for something and he killed the girl when he was out for the weekend, and they only gave him 1 extra year on top of his sentence he already had? Or did they give him more time on top of that 10 years? Wow. 10 years for the. Oh, okay. Okay. Still doesn't seem like enough, though, does it? 10 years. Yeah, I've never seen the Ted Bundy tapes, Vegas Ghost Girls. You're going to have to let me know if it's like pretty good. No, that's okay, Wildy. I've heard like a lot about Ted Bundy, but I don't know like everything there is to know. And I do enjoy watching documentaries and things like that, you know. So, oh, that'd creep me out, Wildy. Think about this though. Even in like for the ones that we know, you know, the pedophiles, um, and the people that have, you know, do drug trafficking and things like that. You think about the ones that you know, and think about how many that you don't know that could be living near you. Ah, okay. I've been watching Netflix. I'll have to look it up, Vegas Ghost Girls. Thanks for letting me know. I've actually started, I only just got Netflix because you get, you know, your first 30 days for free and here in Australia. And so I signed up, and one of the first series I've watched because I missed out on it was Vikings. I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen it, um, but I find the culture and the religion of the Vikings very interesting because the Christians in those days were the first ones apparently to call the Vikings pagans. And yeah, um, yeah, and it's just fascinated me, and that's actually why I've started, um, looking at their religions and their way of life, and their gods. They're the ones that believed in Thor, Loki, Odin, Freya, things like that. And they used to do a lot of animal sacrifices. They did some human sacrifices. The television program isn't true to the history of the Vikings, but it's interesting to watch nonetheless. It's very interesting how they portrayed people with psychic abilities in those days as well. They were held in high regard, usually. You guys have been an awesome audience this evening, or this morning for some of you guys. Sometimes I come on here and I never know what to say. Not People don't often always talk. So thank you so much for giving me an interesting evening. Above you too. Hello. I'll probably be heading off soon. We've been on here for, I don't know, coming up to close to an hour and a half, I think. "62% Irish, Scottish and Wales, and 3% Norwegian." What's that for, Vegas Ghost Girls? Is this the Vikings? I'm so glad that I can talk to you. Wildy, anytime you want to chat, you are so welcome to come along and chat. I also have a Facebook page. It's just Unearthly Wanderings on Facebook, and you can go over there and message me anytime. If you want to talk to me there, if I'm not on here, I'm really open. Like, a lot of people have said that I'm very easy to talk to, and um, I'm really, really happy to come on here and talk to you guys. I love all of you, and Viking blood. Ah, so you part Viking, Vegas Ghost Girls. That is so cool. I'd love to go and get one of those tests done, where they tell you what percentage you are of each nationality. That would be really, really cool for me to do. Because I know that I have a bit of everything in me. On my father's side, though, we carry our family name way back to King Brian Boru. His descendants were O'Brien, and that is my maiden name, O'Brien. Yeah, we descend from King Brian. I like you. We feel the same way. Oh, thank you so much, above you too. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. I am all for that as well. Treat everybody equal and treat people how you wish to be treated. I am a big one for that, and I'm all about, keeping things positive and helping people where I can. I'm always around for people to come and chat, and you know, even if people want to talk to me and just me be an ear, I am willing to do that as well. On ancestry.com, $59. Oh, okay. I didn't know they did it there. That is really cool. Oh, thank you so much, Wildy. Above you too. I will rewatch your stream for your view time count to help out. Thank you so much, Above you too. I appreciate that. It's been a big one for me. I know that, like, recently I've had a lot going on, especially over the last couple of months, you know, and I talk to some people about it, you know, about everything that's going on, and they just say to me, you know, it's okay, you'll get through it, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm okay about it. Like, it might seem weird, but I'm not really sad about anything that's happened, and I think I've dealt with it in a good way. And I look at it as everything is a phase, and every phase, even if it hurts, will pass, and better things will come along. And if you're going through a period of time where you're struggling, reach out to other people, cry if you need to cry, process what's going on and feel it, and then let it go. Thank you so much, Above you too. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. Everybody here is super important to me, and I love each and every single one of you. I really do. Oh, hi, Native Grammy. How are you? You're awesome. Been working because I was driving. Oh, I appreciate you coming in, though. Thank you so much. We've just been having a really good chat tonight. I couldn't sleep, and it was perfect timing. Wildies, we all have something in common, the paranormal. My name is Miriam from Holland. Nice to meet everyone here. So my real name, for anyone that doesn't know, although you all probably do now, is Julie. But nice to meet you, Miriam. I actually have a niece, and her name is Miriam too. So that's a good way I can remember your name. Yeah, check each other out. You know, I'm all for that. And welcome to everybody. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. And go to bed. It's late. It is late. I'll probably have like a get up in the morning, get the kids breakfast, and while they're watching some TV or something, I'll nap on the lounge because it's school holidays. Yeah, Above you too. They're an awesome supporter. I do also support you as well, though, because you're just absolutely fantastic. You have a heart of gold, and there are good things coming to you. I know that. Supporting you. Everybody here is in my list as well. You are all absolutely amazing people, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much, Above you too. Yeah, we've actually got 2 weeks here, Wildy. We've got this week off, and then we have next week as well, just for the Easter break. So I'm not sure if you guys are the same over there. Thank you so much, Vegas Ghost Girls. Thank you so much for coming in and sticking around and hearing my stories and sharing some conversation with me. Yeah, good morning to everybody and good night to anybody else who is around. Check each other out if you like. Drop a like if you liked it. And I appreciate everybody for being here and for everybody else who comes into the stream when we finish to watch as well. Love and light to all of you guys. I'm going to head off. 10:58 a.m. in Iowa. I've got to get to Iowa one day. I want to see the country down there. There are some parts of that that's just so beautiful to me. Okay, it is now 2 a.m. here, so I best log off and go to bed. Clara's not looking tired, but then again, she never looks tired unless you lay her down. Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, even if you came in late. I love all of you, and you are absolutely amazing, each and every one of you, and you are beautiful, so don't forget that. Thank you so much, above you too. Till next time, guys. See you, Dark Paranormal. See you, guys. Not a problem, Native Grammy. I'll give you all a shout out before I go. So we've got Vegas Ghost Girls Paranormal Investigators, Terry and Al Spirit Stalking, Waldy's Paranormal Place, Above You Too, Dark Paranormal, and Native Grammy. So go over and check out all of those people. They are wonderful supporters, and most of them make content and have absolutely amazing stuff as well. So if you like paranormal, go watch it. We still love you, above you too, and I'll shout you out because I'm showing my love. All right, guys. Until next time. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for coming along and having some conversation with me tonight. Believe. Bye-bye.